So firstly, here at Seashells, we're joined with Sue Saunders, a lactation consultant. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself firstly, Sue?
Well, I've been a lactation consultant for 20 years and I'm obviously from not around here, but I'm employed by Eastern Coastal Kent PCT to help promote breastfeeding across Swale, so that's Isle of Sheppey as well as Sittingbourne and Faversham.
Can you tell us more about today's event?
Well, today we have several peer supporters here, and we're about promoting breastfeeding across Swale, promoting it as normal. We have the launch of the Swale Families Talk Breastfeeding DVD, and we're going to be promoting with Sue Mitchell and Swale CVS the breastfeeding directory, which includes providing a directory of breastfeeding friendly places, and our peer supporters and volunteers will be putting stickers into windows so mums will know where it's safe and comfortable to breastfeed.
Sue, you mentioned the DVD. Could you tell us more about that?
Yes, the DVD was put together because this part of Swale, and Swale being this part of Kent, has the lowest breastfeeding rates. And we wanted to talk to families to find out why. The DVD is called Swale Families Talk Breastfeeding, and it gave us a really good insight into how young people felt about breastfeeding. We spoke to dads about how they felt about breastfeeding. We spoke to a grandma, grandfather, and also to mums themselves. And so we've put together this DVD for the people of Swale, by the people of Swale, and it will be played at all children's centres.
If a mum is more interested in becoming a peer supporter, how can they do that, Sue?
Well, very first thing we'd ask them to do is to go to their community involvement worker at their local children's centre. They will always have contacts with a children's centre that does run a peer support program. They are run periodically across Swale, and we will certainly get the details and keep this mum in mind for whenever the next training program is available. And they're very valued. They're volunteer, mother-to-mother breastfeeding support, peer supporters, and they do a wonderful job in the community, just supporting other mothers.
Sue, how can our listeners find out more about this?
Well, as part of promoting breastfeeding as normal across Swale, many children's centres are involved and have some peer support groups. There's St Mary's, Faversham, there's Milton Court Children's Centre in Sittingbourne, Lily Pads, and Seashells here on the Isle of Sheppey, and all run by peer supporters and who are trained to help mothers. And as an extra service here at Seashells, we have a breastfeeding drop-in centre that is run by a lactation consultant when mums and babies are having problems. Families really on the Eastern Coastal Kent strip can also access a website that has a lot of information, www.ekbaby.nhs.uk.
We're now joined with Kim and Sarah here at Seashells in Sheerness. Firstly, can both of you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
My name's Kim, obviously. I've lived on the island all my life. Breastfeeding was important to me. I breastfed both of my two children, and it wasn't until later on, when my sister-in-law was breastfeeding, that she had a few problems. She came to me and I helped her. And then one day we were at an open day and they had a peer supporter recruitment stand there, and she said to me, well, why don't you do that? You've been really good, you helped me. I thought about it on the way, and that's what I did. I came along to the training course, and it's just been brilliant, really. I've found out so many fascinating things about breastfeeding and how important breastfeeding is, and I really want to pass that information on to people, so that other people can benefit the way that I did.
Yeah, I'm Sarah. I've lived on the island most of my life, and I've got two children. One's 16 and one's 2.5. And I had problems breastfeeding both of them, but I was determined to do it. So I came to Seashells breastfeeding support group to get some help, and they were setting up the peer support program when it first started. So I've sort of been in from the beginning, as it were. Qualified as a peer supporter 2 years ago. I work here at Seashells and at Lily Pads at the new group we've got up there, Tummy to Mummy, and we just are there to support other mothers like ourselves, and give them as much information as we can, point them in the right direction if they need help. that's a bit more specialised than we can give, and I want everyone else really in Swale to have access to the help that we've had and to let people know that it's there.
What support is offered in Swale?
Well, Sue's mentioned most of the groups that we have in Swale. Obviously there's the one at Faversham, which is St Mary's Children's Centre, and then there's one in Milton Court and Merston. Here on the island we have two groups running at the moment, which one is at Lily Pads in Minster and the other one's here at Seashells. Lily Pads runs on a Wednesday from 1 till 3, and the one at Seashells runs on a Friday from 12:30 till 2:30. But not only that, we actually have access to a lactation consultant. We're very lucky on the island we have access to a lactation consultant who comes in and deals with problems that we haven't been trained to deal with as peer supporters. You know, we're mums that have breastfed and we're helping mums that are breastfeeding, and we've been trained to do that, but obviously we can't give medical advice or anything. We only give information, so if there's something that we feel is more than we can deal with, we can refer that on to the lactation consultant, and people can get more support that way as well.
Kim, Sarah and Sue, thank you very much for speaking to us here at the Seashell Centre.